In this video, I'll give you a step-by-step plan for landing a Bay Area new grad job. My name is Dev, and the day I graduated, I landed offers from Amazon, Google, and other top companies in the Bay Area. You see, there are just two phases to the job application process, and once you understand them, recruiting becomes 1,000 times easier. But before I break them down, let me tell you a quick story, because this one student's journey will completely change the way that you think about getting hired. Last year, one of my students, let's call him Jack, graduated from a solid computer science school with a decent GPA, even a couple of projects. He applied to over 300 jobs and got 0 interviews, absolutely nothing. And this wasn't because he wasn't qualified. In fact, his projects were miles ahead of most new grads. But his resume was built like every other student's, generic, wordy, and unfocused. Pay attention to the last part. And this is exactly where most people mess up. They think recruiting is about how smart you are, but it's not. It's about how clearly you can communicate your value in just 5 seconds. 5 seconds is all you get. Let's start with phase 1, getting interviews, because this is where 90% of people fail. Think about it. If you've been applying but not getting any interviews, then by definition, your resume has to be the problem. Recruiters receive thousands of applications every single day, and they don't have time to decode your experience. They skim, make a gut call, and move on. In those 5 seconds, you either look like a perfect match or you don't. That's why your resume has to be engineered, not written. And when I say engineered, I mean designed like a true system. First, a clear visual hierarchy. Next, action-first bullet points. Keywords that actually mirror the job posting. And finally, quantified impact wherever possible, as much as possible. And here's the truth. Even if your projects are incredible, even if you've built an LLM from scratch, if your resume isn't optimized for the way recruiters read, then it's completely invisible. Remember Jack from earlier? He was getting ghosted by every company he applied to. So, during one of our sessions, I rewrote his resume line by line. We stripped out the fluff, reorganized his bullet points to lead with impact, and most importantly, listen closely to this part, we built 3 different versions. First, a software engineering version focused on scalability, APIs, and system design. Second, a machine learning version focused on models, pipelines, and experimentation. And finally, a version for data roles focused on analytics and infrastructure. 3 versions, 3 different Google Docs. Within weeks, he had interviews at multiple top tech companies, and within a month, he had an offer. That's what happens when you stop writing resumes and start engineering attention. So here's how you can do this yourself. Every time you apply, ask yourself,
What's the real emphasis of this role?
if the description mentions TensorFlow, LLMs, PyTorch, use your machine learning resume. If it mentions REST API, scalability, CI/CD, use your software engineering resume. And if it mentions SQL, dashboards, ETL, use your data resume. You don't need 50 different variations, just 3. Each one should emphasize different skill clusters. Now, this sounds easy in theory, but in practice, it's a ton of work. Most people never do this, which is why they stay stuck. So if you want me to personally build all 3 resume variations for you, line by line, bullet point by bullet point, then click the link in the description and book a free call with me. Because this is exactly what I do for my clients every single week. Now, once your resume is dialed in and interviews start rolling in, you enter phase 2, passing interviews. This is where the real fun begins. And most people assume that this is where they'll fail, because the technicals, the pressure, the leak code grind. But most people don't even reach this stage, and so they don't even practice properly. That's why you'll see people grind leak code for months, but then panic when they get an interview call from Meta. The problem is not that they're bad at interviews. The problem is that they've never practiced under real conditions. Let me tell you about another student, Aaron. When he joined and started working with me, he was sharp technically, but he'd never passed an interview round. He'd freeze, overthink, and talk himself out of the job. So we set a rule. 5 mock interviews with me before applying anywhere else new. After our second one, he stopped stuttering. After our third one, he stopped explaining code and started teaching it. And after our fifth mock interview, he was diagnosing problems faster than me. He eventually landed an offer from Amazon, one of the top companies in the Bay Area. That's the power of repetition. You don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your preparation. Now, here's what I tell every single student. Stop thinking of interview prep as studying. Think of it like training in the gym. Deliberate reps, progressive overload, feedback. And I don't say that casually. I train every single day. Discipline compounds. Whether it's the gym, relationships, or your career, consistency always wins. So, when you're prepping, first start with pattern drills. Pick 3 to 4 core types of problems. BFS, DFS, lighting window, 2-pointers, etc. Next, move on to system design. Even for new grads, small-scale designs can show huge maturity. And finally, add in mock interviews. Find a partner, a friend, even a family member. Practice until it feels boring. The goal is to make the abnormal feel normal. That's what'll make you calm when it comes to the real interview. And if you don't have someone to practice with, that's literally what we do with our clients every single week. We simulate the exact types of interviews that top companies run, and we coach you until you're unshakable. Now, here's the twist most people miss. Mock interviews alone aren't enough. You need feedback loops, someone to analyze why you missed a question. Just like in the gym, doing 100 reps only reinforces bad habits. So for my student Aaron, every mock was followed by a full post-mortem. What went well? What he over-explained? What mental traps did he fall into? That's why by the time he reached his real interview, his improvement curve was exponential. And that's when the job offers started chasing him. And just to be clear, I'm not saying this from an ivory tower. I've walked this path myself. Back when I was in school, I was juggling the gym, brutal projects, a 5-year relationship, and the stress of competing in the most brutal job market in the world, the Bay Area. You don't need to be a genius, you just need to learn how to package your skills. So here's what I want you to do right now. If you've been applying to jobs but not getting interviews, I already know what your problem is. Your resume is killing your chances. If you're getting interviews but not converting them, it's because you're not getting enough real reps in with genuine feedback. And if you're ready to fix both of those permanently, then my team and I can do it with you. We'll rebuild your resume line by line, create those custom variations for you, and coach you through mock interviews until you're ready to secure the offer. We've done it for hundreds of students already, and now it's your turn. Click the link in the description and book a strategy call to speak with me personally. We'll hop on a call, talk about your resume, give you an interview plan, and map out your step-by-step roadmap to a Bay Area new grad job. Again, click the link in the description, and I look forward to talking to you soon.